guys. Today I'm going to do a video on the wild robot. The wild robot. If you don't know me, I'm AJ, and this is Honey, who I'm going to be fiddling with today. Don't worry, she doesn't mind me fiddling with her. So the wild robot was amazing. It was so good. Like, the visuals were awesome. It looked like a painting, but at the same time it was 3D animated. It was so cool. And like, when I saw the second trailer, when it was clear that they weren't going to be wordless, they were going to speak, and that the actors weren't just the actors that do animal voices, noises, that's the word. The actors that do animal noises. When I saw that trailer, they showed a lot of like the funny scenes, and that was good, but it made me think, oh, maybe this is just going to be like a goofy movie, like, I mean, not like the goofy movie, but a funny movie where that's the main thing of it. It's a funny movie that's lighthearted, and I was still very excited for it, but yeah, I didn't think that it would be this good, but it is amazing. What else can I say? So, if you watch the trailer, you'll already know these and you won't consider these spoilers, but I guess these are light spoilers. But if you don't want spoilers, basically it's about a robot who lands on an island and has to adapt to a not normal robot life and doing things that the robot is not programmed to do, in a forest. And that's all I think that you should know, but the trailers make it otherwise. So please go and watch it now if you haven't already. And here are the light spoilers review. Light spoilers review. Spoilers, sort of, now. So the gosling, which is, if you don't know, is what they call a baby goose. At first I thought that a gosling was the sort of type of goose that he is, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But the little baby goose is so cute, and the voice that they have for him is so cute, and it makes sense, like, from toddler stage to adult. I guess he's a teenager, but teenage stage, he's so cute. I find it's a lot like Bluey in the way that, it's about a mother. And a lot of the Bluey episodes are great and funny for kids, and, it has those little lessons that kids can apply to life, but then also a lot of it is actually kind of based on the adults, and the adults get even more out of it, and they also even get parenting lessons, and a lot of that is just in the wild robot, except, like, in Bluey, it's really aimed at preschoolers, but the wild robot is kind of based on like 8 to 12-year-olds. That also is one thing. This is a brutal movie. It has some quite dark humor, like, and I like it. Like, the way it looks at it's able to deal with all the deaths, but kind of like brush it off as a joke. It's actually really smartly done in the way that you don't get devastated every single time an animal dies, because an animal dies a lot in the wild, if you know anything about the wild. But at the same time, you still feel that tension of, this is the wild. The gosling, what was his name? Bright Bill could die at any moment. Any of them could die at any moment from anything. There are so many dangers here in the wild. You understand how much of a responsibility the robot has as a mother, and Yeah, and it's also, the jokes land. It's funny. I was chuckling at them like crazy. Um, so yeah, there is the light spoilers review. It was great. Here is the full-on spoilers review. Go and watch it right now. Okay, full-on spoilers. Oh, it made me cry twice. Like, it had those sort of tropey things that made you think, like normally with the like fake out singing when it looks like she's dead, and you know that she's not gonna stay dead. You know that she's gonna come back to life because it's a kids movie, but at the same time I was tearing up. And like, not just like, oh, there's something in my eye, someone's cutting onions, but in like a sort of way, not like in a bawling, tears running down my face way, but like, maybe it would have been if I wasn't in a theatre with friends there and stuff. If I was alone in the theatre, and maybe if I could pause it just so that I could hear what they were saying, so that my tears and the noise of crying wouldn't block out what they were saying. I also loved the fact that it didn't have your stereotypical happy ending. It had a good ending. It just didn't have your happy ending. Like, the first thing I thought of is in Frozen 2, when you think that the big wave, forgot what the big waves are called, a tsunami, was gonna crash and ruin over Arendelle, and they were gonna have to rebuild it. But yeah, they didn't. And even if they did, like, they would just do a time jump. They wouldn't show us much of the worry, much of the, the hard stuff going through that. They would just do like a happy song, kind of like they did with Encanto. And Encanto had the happy ending of Casita coming back, and Bluey, which I was talking about before, they still have those happy endings. Like in The Sign, spoilers for The Sign, watch The Sign, which is an episode of Bluey where they move house. Yeah, go and watch it now. Okay. Because that's going to have spoilers. Yeah, so they are going to move house, and the last minute, they decide, the people say, actually, we don't want this house anymore, and then, the dad decides that they'll keep the house, and, the kids are all happy, they get the house back, and they don't have to move away from their friends anymore, and it's still an amazing scene, but at the same time, it's not like real life. In real life, that wouldn't happen. Like, it'd be very hard, very crazy for that to happen. But this has a realistic ending, and it doesn't have like a time jump to this small ending happened and then everything was okay. It was just like the ending that had to happen happened, and you have to wait for the sequel. Which also did make me think, like, you need a sequel. So yeah, they had that hard ending, and even though the movie was long, I'm kind of like, okay, now get to the sequel bit. Like, get to the bit where she convinces the humans to be good with animals and stuff. Get all the humans to be environmentalists. And yeah, that's the other thing, that this was a very good environmentalist movie. Like, it shows you what damage humans can do to the environment. Like, at the beginning, the robot is not doing very well, and when the robots friends. When the other robots come in, it does a lot of damage to the forest, and it really shows how much of damage we can do. And, the wild is hard enough anyway. But how we can also look after it and help the forest if you do, or, the wild, if you do similar to what the wild robot ended up doing by the end. Helping and caring for the animals, and caring for the land in the land, and stuff like that. Like caring for the environment while being part of the environment, which is awesome. I would like, when it comes to stars, how people normally do stars, like me and my brother were having an argument about how people normally look to do things the exact same way that they would move to percentages. So if somebody would give something 60%, they would give them the amount of stars that is 60%. I don't know. I'm not very good at math, so I wouldn't know how many stars that is. But I feel like I'd give this a 5 out of 5 stars, but like 90-95%, probably a 90%. And so if my brother was doing it, he would round that down to 4.5 stars. I'm just sad that I couldn't explain to him how it works, and that not everyone thinks the same way he does, because he has autism too, but he doesn't, he has the boy symptoms. He doesn't mask and doesn't understand. But anyway, and the reason why I'd only give it 90 and not have it like 100%, like everything was so 100%, except for these things that I'm going to list now. The goose. It wasn't an actual particular type of goose. Like, I looked at the pictures of the geese in the movie and then Googled geese in Canada like that, because it seemed to be in a space in Canada sort of thing. And it seems to be mainly based on the Canadian goose, but there was none that actually fully fixed on that goose, which is kind of sad, because all the other animals were obviously, and just like the actual animal. There was a possum that acts like the American possums do, and I don't know much about American possums because I live in Australia, but they all seem to act like and look like what the animals do. Like the bear was obviously the grizzly bear. And it would have been much cooler as an autistic person who wants to grab onto things like these like animals and have a special, and I want to, if this was a particular breed of goose, then I would have a hyperfixation on it for a while. And I enjoy doing that. I enjoy doing research just because I enjoy it. And it was a shame that when I did try to do that, I was like, these goslings look nothing like the goslings in the movie, the baby geese. And yeah, it was disappointing that that I couldn't have a hyperfixation on these breed of geese because they don't exist. So that was one thing. The other thing was the evil robot, like the robot that comes in, who is come to like pick up Roa. I've already forgot the robot's name. But I know it starts with R. Roz, that was it. Comes to pick up Roz, and she has a very happy, outgoing voice, and she even says, like, I have an outgoing voice to ease you, even if what I'm saying isn't particularly nice. But then she starts saying it, she starts using her words like, she's particularly happy and in like a conniving way. Like, what was one of the examples? When she said that she wanted to take Bright Bill as well and study him as well, instead of saying like, I will take him home as well. She then like, I will take home both of you. It was just like this, evil conniving thing, and I think it would have been, even more, creepy if it was just the exact same tone the whole time, instead of having this evil thing. Like, she did have feelings of enjoying the evil stuff. And that's my only two real pet peeves of this whole thing, that I think would have made the movie better if you had changed it. There also is the thing that they kind of drill in the lessons a little bit too much. Like, there's the moment where, like, the fox is doing, I think, is doing, like, a big speech about how, or was it Fennec? Whatever his name is, the fox is doing a big speech about Roz in the shelter that she has, and and it's very, and in that way it kind of felt very preachy, but like at the same time it's a kids movie. I guess they can't really avoid that sort of stuff, and so I guess it wouldn't technically make it a better movie for them to do that, because I guess it would make it a better adult movie, if that makes sense. A more mature movie, I guess it would make it that. And that's the other thing as well. When they had all the animals come in for the winter, it didn't really make sense, because there was only one bear and there was only one fox. Like, are these the last of their kind on this island? That's really sad. I guess foxes can swim. I don't know about grizzly bears. I know more about the Australian animals. And, like, would that count for, like, swimming to other islands? Like, or is this fox just, like, mum, dad died, everything else died? Like, that makes the wild part, like, way darker if you think about it. Poor Fennec. Yeah. But, like, also when you looked, but those were my just pet peeves. Back to a positive, when you looked at who the actors were, like, I don't recognise actors by names, but I did recognise a lot of their faces when I saw the behind the scenes. I'm like, wait, what? That was that actor? Like, you couldn't hear them in their performance at all, in, like, a really good way. They were really taking on their character's personality, and it was so good. Everything about this movie was so, so good. So, yeah. 90%, 5 out of 5 stars. Please go and watch it. It has been the best movie that I've watched since whenever Rise of the Guardians came out. Definitely, for, like, everyone's point of view, it was the best movie, at least the best DreamWorks movie since since The Last Wish. But when it comes to DreamWorks, it's up there with Rise of the Guardians and How to Train Your Dragons. And my favourite movies are like Tangled, How to Train Your Dragon, The Rise of the Guardians, and I mean, I liked Inside Out too, but it wasn't any of this stuff. I think this would definitely be my favourite movie of the decade. That's what people seem to be calling it, but you know, in the 2020s. But, you know, there's still more to come. I've heard that Flow is meant to be really good. This movie about a cat on the flooding world, and there's a capybara, so I guess it's possible that one could be better. But I kind of don't want it to be better because Wild Robot was so good. And I want Wild Robot to be looked at for as good as it is. Anyway, so please go out and watch it. It was awesome. Thank you for watching up to this point. Honey says hi. And also bye. And I'll see you guys next time when I talk about my autism interests and just whatever my autism wants to rave about. Bye.